I'm reminded of the enthusiasm and the excitement for controlled release drug in the eye to treat ocular diseases. Our company is the leader in development of technologies to enable exactly that. EyePoint Pharmaceuticals is a name you may not be familiar with. We're the former Cyvita, and Cyvita has developed 3 of the 4 FDA-approved controlled release products for the release of drug on a sustained program in the eye. In March, we went through a transformation, and at this point, I've got some interesting news to share with you for what we anticipate in the next 6 months. Fair balance. So what's relevant today is that we'll be launching 2 products in the coming months. And the 2 products highlight are now 2 technologies, validated technologies, FDA-approved technologies for controlled release of drug within the eye. In March, we acquired Icon Biosciences. Icon has developed, and we now own, a formulation that enables release of drug following injection in the eye at the close of ocular surgery. Now, with the 2 platforms that we have, I'll speak to in a moment, we see the opportunity to deliver a variety of different drugs for a variety of different ocular diseases. We were recapitalized on the basis of infusions from private equity in March that enabled the acquisition of Icon, and is also financing the development of a commercialization capability. Whereas before we've licensed our products to other companies, we'll be commercializing going forward. The acquisition of Icon provided to us a product called Dexycu, already FDA approved, a controlled release formulation of dexamethasone for injection in the eye following ocular surgery. As mentioned, we acquired Icon in March, funded by a capital infusion from Essex Woodlands, and corresponding to this event, concurrent with this event, we changed the name of the company from Cyvita to EyePoint Pharmaceuticals. The second product that we'll be launching in short order is derived from the existing technology that Cyvita had developed and is commercialized in other forms, and specifically is before FDA under the brand name Yutiq with an NDA for treatment of non-infectious posterior uveitis. And as mentioned, we have the capability to develop a variety of different drugs using one or the other technology platform to advance through development towards a variety of targeted diseases. In the interest of time, I'm going to go quickly to a description of our first technology for controlled sustained release drug. We call that Durasert, and it has already been commercialized in 3 products. As you can see in the slide, the technology's evolved quite a bit over the past 20 years, becoming exquisitely small and enabling targeted drug delivery, smaller quantities of drug directly to the intended site of treatment. Now we're using that technology in a product that will be branded as Yutiq for the treatment of posterior uveitis. The registrational program, the development program for Yutiq, featured 2 large registrational studies as well as a usability study. The product is demonstrated to release drug over a consistent 36-month period. The efficacy results incorporated in the label at 6 and 12 months demonstrate a reduction in the recurrence of uveitis. At the 6-month point, a risk reduction of 7.6 times relative to placebo, and at 12 months, a 26-fold risk reduction in uveitis recurrence events. Both results highly statistically significant. As you can see in the lower left, the odds, the risk of developing a recurrence close to 100% in untreated patients. But in patients who were treated with Yutiq, more than 60% were still recurrence-free at the 12-month point. Our second registrational study was conducted outside the United States, and here again, the results are highly statistically significant. This slide illustrates, on a Kaplan-Meier illustration, the risk of patients experiencing a recurrence of uveitis. The blue line represents the patients treated with Yutiq, the red line with placebo. And the top graph, the intent to treat population, the bottom graph, the per protocol analysis. Again, these results so far presented incorporate 2 time points, 6 and 12 months. The 36-month data is shortly before release. Yutiq safety. You see on the right that the risk of experiencing a cataract surgery was roughly comparable across the 2 studies between the Yutiq-treated patients and placebo-treated patients. On the left, you see a modest and somewhat predictable increase in IOP for Yutiq-treated patients. The next product I'd like to talk about may be the first to come to market from EyePoint. The product is already FDA approved, and we're in the process of developing supplies to enable an upcoming launch. That's Dexycu, which is dexamethasone in a sustained release formulation injected into the eye at the end of ocular surgery to treat inflammation. The product incorporates our Verisome technology. And whereas Durasert is a device similar to what we've seen in other marketed products that releases drug and sits in the back of the eye, Verisome enables us to release drug in the anterior segment from a formulation, a suspension that is injected into the eye by the ophthalmologist at the end of ocular surgery. It's indicated to treat inflammation following all ocular surgery. The suspension forms spheroids once it's introduced into an aqueous solution, releases drug over a 30-day period, and we've seen impressive results in terms of the clearance of anterior cells at both the 3, 8, 15, and 30-day period following surgery.